we should not show favoritism. James is saying that just because a person is rich, if a rich man comes in and we give them special attention, and a poor person comes in and we basically look down upon them, we don't give them the same attention that the rich men have, basically we are hypocrites. James is saying that we should not be showing no favoritism in the church. There should not be any discrimination in the church. The church is a place where everybody is supposed to come and not be discriminated against. Unfortunately, sometimes we all have fallen short sometimes. Because if the truth be told, sometimes if we see a rich person or a person with good appearance, if for example I have a meeting with President Joe Biden tonight, what I will do is I will make sure that I am well dressed. I will make sure that everything in the house is clean. I will make sure that everybody is on their best behavior. I will go out of my way to make sure that everything is good, ready to go. Because President Joe Biden is coming. This is not about Republican or Democrat. This is an example. So if President Joe Biden come to my house tonight, or come to your house tonight, you will take a special time to prepare for President Joe Biden. But if somebody from down the street, say a homeless person come in, the truth be told, you will not, most of us will not take that same time to prepare the home. To take that same time to be ready for that homeless man, just as we will prepare for President Joe Biden. If President Joe Biden was supposed to come to the church, there will be more on that day. There will be more, of course, based on his title. We have to, for security reasons, we will have to take extra measures. But believe me, most of even the believers coming on that day, if we announce to them that President Joe Biden will be there, all they will be waiting for is some people who have not come to church for years will come to church just because we announced that President Joe Biden will be in church. Everybody will be in their best attire, waiting for him to come in the church. But if we announce that we are going to invite some, let's say about 10 homeless people to come to church, people won't care. Some people won't even come to church that day. They will say, why would we want to be around the homeless people? The people are not going, some of them are not going to wear good clothes. Forgive me, some people may even say, because some of them may have certain smell, so they don't want to come to church. Believe me, these are things that we do as believers. But James is saying here, who cares whether the person is rich or poor? What matters is that they have Christ. We are not supposed to be discriminating against other people. Most importantly, James is telling us that we are supposed to be imitators of God. And if we are supposed to imitate Christ, Christ will not judge between President Joe Biden and the homeless person based on their attire, based on their bank account, based on their title. If Jesus was here, he will not judge, he will not make that judgment based on the outer appearance. If Jesus was here based on that example, if that was supposed to happen, Jesus will judge based on their heart. Because God doesn't see just as we see. God don't see things like that. He don't judge men and women based on their outer appearances, based on their height. Remember what he told Prophet Samuel. When the Prophet Samuel wanted to anoint Eliab, because Eliab was well looking, Eliab was well dressed, and he took one look at Eliab and he said, this is the one. And God said, no, Prophet Samuel, this is not how it goes. I don't judge based on outer appearances or based on height. I judge based on the heart. Tonight, this is what James is telling us. James is saying we should not show favoritism. You see, another thing that this is very important, another thing that I want to make is that James is saying here, the poor person is saved and the poor person have eternal life. So if God valued that poor person so much that he sent his son to die for him, who are you and I for us to judge the man and look down on the poor person because of his clothing? And these are something that we all have to be watchful of. I'm not just saying this just to you. I'm saying this charge also to myself, because sometimes we judge based on appearances. James is saying, look, the poor person have eternal life. And the next thing that James said, he said, believe you me, you guys want to take all this as special attention and give it to the rich person. And James is saying sometimes it's the rich people that be oppressing us poor people. Some of us, the rich person that we admire is the person that is not even going to help us. They may be the one oppressing us, taxing us, making us suffer, making sure that you don't get no help. But you spend so much time trying to impress rich people. Sometimes we spend so much time trying to impress people because they are educated, thinking that because we try to impress them or give them special attention, that means that they will show favor to us. But don't you know? But you and I know you have met many rich people who are stingy. You have met many rich people who, even though they are rich, they don't give. You have met many educated people who look down on you. But yet you can find a person who is poor here. Let's say, for example, they don't have no money, but they give more than the person that's rich. But they show more love more than the person that's rich. In fact, if you ever sit down with a homeless person, if you ever sit down with a drunk, if you ever sit down with a prostitute, you will be surprised how many wisdom you can get. If you ever go to the people that in the psychiatric ward, the people that they say they are crazy, they have mental illness, you will be surprised how much wisdom you will get from those people. You will be surprised how much love those people will express to you. The people who have sound mind, are educated and have money, they will look down on you. Some of them, they will, even though they have money, they will oppress you. So James is saying, let us be careful. I believe another mistake we must not make in the church. Just because somebody is rich doesn't mean that we should show favoritism to them. Meaning that during an argument, when there is disagreement between the brethren, you can't take sides just because this person is rich. You can't take sides and say just because this person is educated. You can't take sides and say, oh, this person gives the most in the church, so regardless of what's going on, I have to back them. James is saying, no, let us not show favoritism. Even in the book of Leviticus, one of the laws was that we are not supposed to show partiality to the poor or show favoritism to the great. We are supposed to judge fairly. Sometimes in the church we have missed that. It's quite common, as from a human point of view, to want to take care of those who you think will help you. But believe me, I have lived life long enough that most of the time the people who you think will help you will never help you. You never know who God is sending to help you. And if you look on outer appearance, you will miss your blessing. That's why you have to treat the janitor and the CEO the same way, because you don't know who God is going to use to open the door for you. You don't know who God is going to use to bless you. And sometimes the people you look down upon are the ones that God has chosen. You see, if Samuel made the mistake, he basically was trying to choose Eliab based on appearance. And most people would have looked down on David, but he was the one that God chose. He was the one that God was going to use, that was going to become the next king. So tonight, you and I have to be careful how we treat people. As you sit with your neighbors today, as you are working with the people at the job, as you are in your family, you may look at somebody today, they are the janitor, but you don't know that the next season when you see them, they will be the CEO. And you don't know who they are related to. They may be related to somebody in high places. So tonight, be careful with how you are looking at your neighbor. Be careful of how you are looking at that person that is poor, that is homeless, that comes to church, or that sister that you think, oh, they're in sin, they're living such a bad life that you are better than them. You don't know that tomorrow they will be the next prophetess. You don't know that tomorrow the drug dealer in the street will be the next apostle. Who would have thought that Apostle Paul will become one of the people that God will use? The Apostle Paul will write most of the New Testament, write the epistles. You never know, so no partiality. That's what James is saying here. This is Purpose Focus Ministry, and I invite you to come to church this Sunday. God bless you. My name is Pastor Michael at Michael Kamara I am the founder of Purpose Focus Ministry. See you at 10 o'clock.